Hello guys, RamiX back in another video. In today's video, as the title suggests, is what if the Namikaze clan had a Dojutsu, the movie. Please like, share the video to a friend who likes videos or anime content in general, comment down below your thoughts and feelings about the video, check out my Discord down below, and subscribe. This is a what if that I did years ago now, actually, but I never quite finished it. And so today is the remastered Part 1 of What If Naruto, or rather, what if the Namikaze clan had a Dojutsu, the movie. With that being said, we can now begin the what if. So, how I think that this can happen is if the Namikaze clan have a Dojutsu, obviously. This Dojutsu would be called the 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙊𝙏, or in full terms, the 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙊𝙏. And how you unlock this Dojutsu is from constant hardships like experiencing death, bullying, negative emotions, and although this may seem kind of ironic because all three of these things could happen to a young Naruto, it's genuinely just how you unlock the Dojutsu. Another way that you can unlock the Dojutsu is when you are in a situation where your back may be against the wall, similar to other Dojutsu like the Sharingan that awaken in times of need. This Dojutsu can do the same. It can activate when in times of need, in times of extreme desperation, or when you experience something traumatic, like the loss of a loved one. Similar, again, to the Sharingan. For instance, Minato would unlock this Dojutsu from the death of Obito, but would later in life realize the drain of chakra from the Dojutsu makes it almost pointless in its higher stages, as it has 4 stages in total. 1, 2, and 3 Tomoe, and the last stage is the most draining, the 𝘎𝙈𝙊𝙊𝙏𝙃. Although it should be noted that 2 people in the history of the Namikaze clan have progressed even beyond the 4 stages, into their own unique stages. Stages 5 and 6, wielded by Zenitsu Namikaze, who was alive during the feudal times, and actually has a marked grave within Konoha. It also was heavily believed within the Namikaze clan that Zenitsu left a Genjutsu hidden within the eye, for the users who progressed past the 4th Tomoe. Many also assume that he left this Dojutsu because he believed that in the future, the line of Namikazes with the Dojutsu would slowly dilute and become lesser and lesser. And in part, he was correct. It took Minato, a prodigy of the clan who was actually almost full-blooded Namikaze, if such a thing even exists, more than 20 years of his whole entire life just to unlock the first stages of the Dojutsu, because, well, times became more peaceful, and he only unlocked it from seeing the death of his own student. The other user of the 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙊𝙏 to go past the 4th stage of the Dojutsu was, in fact, Minato Namikaze, who unlocked what is known as the Delta 𝙎𝙈, Model 1. Although the abilities of the eye could not be fully utilized by a young Minato, as he unlocked this after sacrificing his soul to the Reaper of Death, Hail Mary if you will, so he was never able to reach the full potential of the Dojutsu. But it should be stated that if Minato were to be reanimated, he would have the Dojutsu as he died unlocking it in its 4th stage Delta. With that being said, there are possibly many other wielders of the 4th stage of the Namikaze clan. Heck, there are even more than that, but those users either died in the feudal times or were killed due to the strain of the Dojutsu, and that will be explained way later on. We can now start the story. One day, Naruto is about 6 years old and is being bullied as he awakens the 1 Tomoe 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙏𝙃, pushing the bully through dozens of trees, which would evidently knock him out. It would be then that he would pull the other bully and punch him. It had seemed that he had been able to pull and push people and objects at insanely high speeds and do serious damage, similar to an ability found in the Rinnegan, although Naruto obviously didn't know this. His abilities were much akin to Universal Pull and Almighty Push. It would be then that Naruto immediately ran to the Hokage office. Naruto panted as he ran towards the office, eventually barging through the door and looking now at Hiruzen. Hello, Naruto. Why the frantic look? I defeated 2 of the bullies picking on me. That's great, Naruto. Where are they now? I don't know, but I did it in a weird way. I pushed one super far, and I pulled another one, and I punched him. What do you mean? It's like, just because I wanted them to be pulled towards me, they came, and yeah. That's a weird ability indeed, Naruto. I wonder what it can do, Hiruzen thought to himself. Well, can you show me it? Yeah, sure. Naruto went outside, pulling a tree and disrooting it, and pushing it into a bench, which would destroy the bench. That's the most I can do. But, yeah. That is truly a unique ability. Looking at Naruto's eyes as his jaw dropped, seeing an azure glow with a pinwheel shape in the middle, similar to the Sharingan in its Mangekyo state. As he then told Naruto that he possesses what is known as a Dojutsu. Huh? What's that? Naruto would ask. Have you ever heard of the Sharingan? Of course I have. The great Uchiha clan possesses that Dojutsu. The Sharingan. Yeah, I know the Sharingan. Well, Naruto, your eye is yes. Hiruzen would quickly disappear and reappear, as he would now have a book in his hand. After getting the book, he spoke to Naruto. This book contains information written by Minato in Zenitsu Namikaze. Realizing that he accidentally could have hinted at Minato being Naruto's father, but Naruto didn't realize this, or at least that Minato was a relative of his. As he then exclaimed that within the book it talks about the eye, its drawbacks, abilities, etc. Also, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure to do that. Anyhow, Naruto would reply with a quick as he would then ask Hiruzen if he could read it. Hiruzen would reply with, of course, that's why he got the book, as he would tell Naruto to make sure to return it afterwards. Naruto would then ask Hiruzen if he had read the book before, as Hiruzen would tell Naruto that he had not, but that it wasn't his dojutsu, so he had no reason to read it in the first place. Oh, and again, once you're done reading it, can you please give it back to me? I already said yes, Hiruzen. I will return it to you, I promise. Naruto then went home, reading the book, figuring out that the first stage of the 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙏𝙃, its full name, is the ability of pulling and pushing, which I'll refer to as almighty push and almighty pull, just for simplicity. And the second stage gives its user the ability to rewind his own body by 1 hour, anywhere in between that, say a few seconds to a whole hour. The third stage allows its user to access all 5 chakra natures. The fourth stage, increasing perception, reaction time, precognition, enhanced sensory, the ability to create a huge sphere of antiparticles able to implode anything that it touches, or at least damage them, and to see chakra networks, although it should be clear that each user who gets to the fourth stage has their own unique ability. Just like how each user of the Rinnegan has different abilities from one another, and just like how each Mangekyo Sharingan has different abilities, varying from member to member. Now, it should be noted that people like Minato would have used the ability to rewind their own body by 1 hour, for instance when he called the Reaper to seal Kurama, but the problem with that is, in Minato's case, he had already spent too much chakra, and using such a state of the dojutsu, known as the 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙏𝙃, would, therein kill him anyways, just from the sheer strain of the dojutsu. With that being said, if I haven't explained this already, the fourth stage increases perception, reaction time, precognition, enhanced sensory, the ability to create a sphere of antiparticles, which I already mentioned, which are able to implode anything that it touches or at least damage them, and the ability to see chakra natures, although it should be clear that again, each user of the fourth stage has their own unique ability, along with the ones mentioned. Naruto would also figure out that there is a secret fifth stage, but you must be a half-breed of the clan, and as such, no one in the 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙏 can access it, besides people like Zenitsu, Minato, and a group of Namikaze who have been listed as the founders, men and women of the Namikaze who were born with the ability to progress beyond the fourth stage, due to their lineage and strong connection to the Namikaze clan. Zenitsu prophesied and theorized in the book that later on in times of peace, only half-blooded Namikaze would be able to access up to the fifth stage. He only knew that a time of peace was to come, as 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙊𝙃 and 𝘎𝙈 had founded a village for the sole purpose of children not dying on the battlefield. With that being said, many members had gone past the 4th stage, but didn't go beyond that, due to the fact that it would have killed them due to the chakra demand. Now, it's kind of sad that, well, just based off the chakra strain, many of these Namikaze could not access their full potential, but that's just the point of the Dojutsu. It's kind of overpowered, and it needs a weakness. Just like the Sharingan in its deeper stages has the Mangekyo to go blurry, and the Rinnegan requires a massive amount of chakra, the Namikaze Dojutsu, the Kuroi or the Kuroime, has a massive strain of chakra as well. Now, it's not that there hasn't been any half-breeds in the duration of the Namikaze clan, but it's due to the fact that the chakra cost, again, has killed any Namikaze who obtained it. Now, I know that this may seem very redundant that I keep mentioning the strain of chakra that is used to, well, access the Dojutsu, but it needs to be mentioned as to why the Namikaze haven't dominated the Leaf Village for, well, all of time, or they would be the most broken clan of Naruto. Now, with that being said, the Namikaze who obtained it as a form, it was too taxing to use, but it's said that with the power, you can exceed time and space, and pass through any inanimate object, as long as it contains particles within it. It also gives you a chakra armor on the level of a Tensegon. And once you've obtained the eye, the 5th or 4th stage, you can summon a crow or multiple crows, and the one you pick will be your personal summoning. These crows can do a number of things. They also can act as substitutions. It would be then that Naruto would walk outside, finding a training ground, as he would then call upon the legendary crows that were written in the book, doing it, as he knew that he had already awakened the eye. Now, unlike things like the Sharingan, once you awaken the eye, there's no subconsciously awakening it, unless it's a very, very deep form. What I mean by saying this is that just because Naruto unlocked the Dojutsu just hours ago, Naruto can still use the Dojutsu as if he's had it for a year. This is in part due to the fact that the chakra strain would make it so difficult for a Namikaze to actually train with the eye and get better. And, well, progress. So, it's kind of like a cheat code, that if you do have enough chakra to possess, say, this 1st stage, then you get all access to the abilities within the 1st stage. And that should make sense. If you need context, you can comment down below, and I can explain with greater detail. With that being said, out of the thousands of crows that Naruto had summoned, one appeared and flew over to Naruto and onto Naruto's shoulder. Thinking that it was the one that would be his own personal summoning, as it even had the Dojutsu, he would desummon them all, as Naruto, with all of his newly obtained information about his own Dojutsu and Kekkei Genkai, would continue to read through the book, except for one page that Naruto was unable to read. It was almost as if he wasn't far enough. It looked like a ton of gibberish with a few words that were clear. All he saw were Namikaze, Kuroi, Uzumaki, and the words Kenjutsu. With that being said, while reading the book, Naruto had learned more about the Namikaze clan's history, and by extension, his own family's history. For instance, Naruto learned of an incident that occurred over 50 years ago, where the founders of the clan, were attacked by ninja from the Stone Village and the Clown Village, sent to annihilate the clan. Their attempt was almost successful, if it weren't for sacrifices of every founder, going past the 4th stage and in the process dying due to the chakra drain. The only one who hadn't been killed due to the chakra drain was actually Naruto's own line of the Namikaze clan, the legendary Raizu Namikaze, one of the founders of the clan, who is believed to be Minato's grandfather. Now, the reason the Stone and Cloud attacked the Namikaze clan was because they were growing in number and strength far too quickly, and with Namikaze scattered between the lands of wind, iron, sand, and, well, everywhere in between, they decided to attack. With that being said, around the time that they were attacked, they were in the works of joining the Leaf Village, and if they were to do that, the Stone and Cloud believed that they would stand no chance against the newly formed village hidden in the leaves that had not only natural resources, strong ninja like the Uchiha and Senju, but they would have another powerhouse clan, which would make them almost unbeatable in this new era of, well, villages. Now then, Naruto would return the book to Hiruzen, who would gladly take it, as someone knocked on the door opening it. Hiruzen would tell the man who knocked on the door to come in, as it would be a man with short black hair, a cane, bandages around his eye, a seal on his arm, and yellow pigmented eyes. Naruto looked up at the man, as Naruto thought to himself that this guy looks a bit weird, odd, and that Naruto got a little bit of a weird vibe from him. Didn't necessarily like the guy. Naruto would then be approached by who would later be revealed to be Danzo, by name, as Naruto would back up. Danzo then reached for Naruto's eyes right in front of Hiruzen. He knew that Naruto had the legendary 𝘎𝙬𝙊𝙃𝙃 Dojutsu. He was one of the only people not to be a Namikaze to actually read the book, and, well, he wanted it for himself. As Danzo then got closer and closer and Naruto's body began to be pushed up against the window, Naruto blinked, revealing his one Tomoe 𝘎𝙬𝙃, pushing Danzo into the wall as Danzo then got up, dusting himself off. "Danzo, stop it now!" Scowling at Hiruzen as he bandaged his Mangekyu Koto Natsukami. Hiruzen then fell unconscious, as Danzo didn't want to kill Hiruzen, only injure him, if it came to it, but he was able to just use Koto Natsukami on Hiruzen instead, walking towards Naruto, who was now scared and frightened at what had just happened. Also, the fact that Danzo had a variety of Sharingan on his arm. With that being said, Naruto watched as Danzo took off his arm seal, as Danzo then began to mutter words like, "It's alright, I won't hurt you, and it won't hurt at all." "No, no," Naruto screamed, as Danzo then yanked Naruto's eye out. "The 𝘎𝙬𝙃𝙃 is now mine, and to think that Minato's son possessed such a dojutsu so young." Naruto now, with anger in his eyes, from the intense and immense hate and pain now in his heart for the person who stripped him of his dojutsu, he would awaken his two Tomoe 𝘎𝙬𝙃, rewinding his body by an hour, as his eye then came back to his body. Due to the fact that he had absolutely no time to practice the technique, as, well, it would be even more broken if any Namikaze could just use a technique to its full ability just by having the chakra to do so. Naruto accidentally reset his body by an hour instead of, say, something like 5 minutes or 3 minutes, or just to right before his, well, eye went out. With that being said, Naruto's eye then came back to his body, fading from Danzo's hands. "What the heck? Do you have some sort of Izanagi ability?" "I'm not sure what that is, Danzo," Naruto said under his breath, extending his hand towards Danzo, as the Kyuubi's chakra began to leak from Naruto's body. Naruto had expended so much chakra by rewinding his body by a whole hour that the Kyuubi actually had to step in and let parts of his chakra leak through the seal, as tight as it already was. The seal, that is. With that being said, Naruto slowly but surely began to gain more and more chakra once more, as he had to slowly release Kurama's chakra in a quick burst. It would be then that he yelled to Danzo, "Almighty pull." Pulling Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan out of Danzo's eye socket, and with nowhere to put it, he put it in his crow, as he then extended his eye out again. What I mean by that is that Naruto now opened his eye once more, as his eyes were closed while using Almighty Pull and planting the eye in his crow. He had a sort of connection to the crow. It would be then that he would now extend his hand, yelling Almighty Push. With the vermilion of the chakra still present, the Nine Tails added even more strength to Naruto's dojutsu and power, sending Danzo through thousands of buildings through the Leaf Village, which evidently left a lot of damage, but also happened to kill him over and over again, with the unrelenting push, which would leave Danzo with one more Sharingan on his arm. Danzo, realizing that he, well, technically speaking, only had one more life left, with only one Sharingan left to revive himself with, he would flee to become a mercenary. As before he left, he took his personal route and a few Sharingan with him, filling his Sharingan arm back up and leaving the village. Sharingan that he did not have massive amounts in this timeline of, due to the fact that the Uchiha massacre has yet to happen. And so most of these Sharingan are from ninja of the Uchiha clan dying on battles, and Root Anbu collecting the bodies and their Dojutsu. With that, Danzo would become a mercenary, as he knew he could not return to Hiruzen, as Naruto would either explain to Hiruzen what had happened, or Hiruzen would easily remember the events that took place in his office. Naruto would then wake Hiruzen up and tell him what had happened. Surprised that Naruto could control a fragment of the Kyuubi's chakra, or that the Kyuubi had decided to work with Naruto, he wouldn't ask Naruto any questions. He didn't want Naruto to become, scared, anxious, or anything in between of Hiruzen. Due to the fact that Naruto seeing someone who was trusted within the village betray him, he didn't want Naruto to think of him as untrustworthy. So Hiruzen asking more and more about Naruto's powers would probably only make the young boy concerned. Naruto would then be excused by Hiruzen to go home, as he did so, falling asleep and meeting the Nine Tails within his own subconscious. Now, with that being said, this is the end to What If the Namikaze Clan Had a Dojutsu Part 1 Remastered. I hope you guys all enjoyed. This video was scripted, so it had a very different vibe from some of my other content. I love making scripted videos because it's so much easier. But it's also so much harder. It's a lot more work, so much more time spent scripting. And overall, it drains me a lot more than just going and speaking on a what if. If you do enjoy this style of content much more, let me know, and I can make an effort to make more scripted content. But with that being said, this is about as far as we'll go today. Although, there may be a part 2 released. That all depends on if I'm feeling like a double upload or not. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Share your thoughts and feelings about the video down below. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Comment down below what if suggestions if you'd like. Check out the description. My Discord is also in the description, and if you can support the channel with a super thanks or really anything, then that would be appreciated. To be clear though, if you're not comfortable doing that at the moment, any support in any way would be appreciated. And with that being said, Rami X out.